Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back, and if it's your first time here, my name is Aral and I'm a remote UX engineer based in Orlando, Florida. Over the past couple of years, I've been sharing my story as I try to build the most functional home setup for my creative and professional workflows. This year, we're going beyond the functionality and building my truly dream setup. Let's get into it. I want to do a quick disclaimer before we kick things off. One of the most common criticisms I've gotten in my past setup videos is that this setup is unnecessary or a true coder doesn't need all this. So I wanted to touch on a major point, that is that most of the stuff that I'll cover in this video is certainly not a necessity to be a developer, designer, or a creator. This has been my attempt at creating a space where I enjoy working and feel inspired to create more. Lastly, I've been building a home setup for almost a decade. The items I have are an accumulation of years of purchases and some past partnerships. So no, I do not know how much the whole thing costs. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's dive right in. Kicking things off with the foundation of the setup, the desks. My primary work area still uses the Ergonomic Alive desk from 2022 and is accompanied by this new Sway desk from Ergonomic as well. I think these desks seamlessly integrate a natural, cozy vibe while providing a quality and sturdy base for the whole setup. I gotta say, I've tested a few different standing desk brands over the past years and none of them really match the quality and reliability of these desks in terms of wood top, motor, and overall product quality. Underneath both of the desks, I'm using the Ergonomic cable management system, which allows me to run a whole lot of cables and still keep a neat and clean look when both seated and standing positions. And these cable spines keep the extension cords running smoothly while the desk is moving up and down. The Sway desk also has the desk drawer add-on where I store some of the cables and peripherals that I use on a day-to-day basis, like these microfiber clothes I use for cleaning my phone and my tablets, or these Ninja 5 adapters that I use for transferring videos. Right next to the Sway desk, I have the walnut neat filing cabinet, again from Ergonomic, for additional storage for other important stuff like this Logitech G29 steering wheel. Honestly, I plan on a small project to streamline these storage spaces and maybe post a short about it later this year. So make sure you subscribe to see as this setup evolves over this year as well. In terms of the setup foundations, I use the Anthros ergonomic chair when I'm sitting. And let me tell you, this chair is way different than any other office chair that I've experienced before. I've tried a lot of Herman Miller grade chairs in the past, including some premium gaming chairs, but this chair has been incredible in combating my lower back pains. I usually pair this with the Humanscale FR300 foot rocker at my feet, and a new addition to the setup is this MoveMate board. In this past year, I've suffered from a ruptured Achilles injury, and I've actually started using the MoveMate board as a part of my recovery. And now it has become a permanent part of the setup to use when I'm standing. It has a unique natural build that allows you to naturally flow and move around to relieve the stress from your back as well. And I think that is it for the ergonomic foundations of the setup. Let's move on to what you guys are really here for, and that is the equipment on the desk. Starting out with the side table, we have the massive 55-inch Samsung Odyssey ARK monitor as the centerpiece. This monitor has had some polarizing reviews. People either love it or hate it. I think it fits my setup just perfectly. I utilize it as a backup view for miscellaneous stuff during the day, and I've really been enjoying using it in its vertical orientation just like that. Next to it, I have a pre-configured custom PC from BuildRedux. This is their best pre-configured option that comes with an NVIDIA RTX 4080 Super GPU, 16 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte storage. I've already expanded the RAM to 128 gigs and added another 2 terabyte M.2 SSD, and I also plan on adding another RTX GPU soon. But I'm still doing some research on how to do this since this is my first custom PC build and I want to be careful with it. Now the BuildRedux PC is connected both the ARK and the Odyssey OLED G9 next to it, which allows me to enjoy gaming in super ultra wide or regular 16:9 aspect ratio whenever I want. I also mounted my old PS4 Pro right under the desk as well and connected that to the ARK. So after work, the ARK turns from a productivity monitor into a gaming spot from time to time. I'm using the Ergonomic desk shelf to neatly hide the huge control box that came with the ARK, as well as organize my cyberpunk themed Razer Viper mouse, the Xbox controller with the charging stand, and my Steam Deck OLED right next to it. Most of the equipment is connected to the Surge Protector power strip that is mounted on the back of the Ergonomic cable management solution. But I also have this power bar on top of the desk, which is again from Ergonomic. I'm sure you guys are noticing the trend here, and this is a major part of why I wanted to go with the Ergonomic desk for the setup. They really have a full ecosystem for creating a clean and modern workspace, and keeping everything under the same brand helped me create a cohesive space where nothing really feels out of place. Alright, moving on to the primary work area. As some of you might have noticed, I've moved back to the stacked monitor layout from the previous T layout from 2022. And this was primarily due to a switch in my professional career and the new requirements that came with it. In my past position, I was mostly working with the development team, and the T layout was very handy for coding heavy workflows. From a creative standpoint, last year's focus was short-form vertical content, so again, the T layout made sense. However, this year I'm focusing mainly on product design tasks as well as pivoting into creating more long-form content here on YouTube. So we're seeing the old stack layout come back to life, but with better displays. On top, I have the Samsung Viewfinity S9 monitor, which is Samsung's answer to Apple's Studio Display. It has a 5K matte display and a very familiar design language, as you can tell. And underneath, it is my favorite all-time display, the Odyssey OLED G9. This is a 49-inch super ultra-wide OLED display with a 240Hz refresh rate. So as great as it sounds for gaming, it does a great job in terms of productivity as well. By the way, I do have full videos on all of these monitors individually on my channel, so if you're curious about them, make sure to check out the channel feed. Both monitors are mounted on the Humanscale M-Flex mount, which my older subscribers should be familiar with by now. While it is on the premium side of monitor mounts, I have been using it for the past 6 years or so in every setup configuration I've posted on social media. Similarly, I have a dedicated video on this monitor mount configuration as well, so make sure to check out my older videos for a detailed breakthrough. On either side of the monitors are my old KRK Rocket 5s placed on top of these desk mounts from Gator Frameworks. I've had these studio monitors for almost a decade now, and they've been great for editing videos and general consumption. They're both connected to the Rode A1 single-channel audio interface, which has just enough numbers of interfaces I need for this setup. While the audio out is connected to the KRK monitors, the single audio in channel is connected to my new Shure SM7 DB. And if I'm being honest, this certainly was an overkill and a bit of an impulse purchase on my end. But I've been trying to rationalize by telling myself that it was a needed purchase for my video voiceover needs. Anyway, moving on from audio to other I/O, I'm using the Cyber keyboard from Angry Meow along with my trusted Logitech MX3 Master 3S mouse, which hasn't changed in the past few years. I've updated the mousepad to GroveMade's new leather mousepad, which is a lot sturdier than its predecessor. For my webcam, I'm still using the Logitech Brio 4K cam on an Elgato Master mount, which does the job from all my video calls. I do have a Falcom F38 mount on this arm, so when needed, I can just plug in my Sony a7S III instead of the Brio and instantly up my video call game. And all this equipment is connected to the CalDigit TS4 dock and brought down to a single Thunderbolt 4 cable. This is very essential for this part of the setup because while I still have the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra for my personal use, I also have an M1 Max MacBook Pro for work. And having a single Thunderbolt cable to connect all my peripherals makes it super easy to switch out the laptops. Lastly, some of the less technical accessories on this desk are the GroveMade laptop stand for use with either laptop, the Nomad Base 1 charger, the GroveMade XL desk shelf along with the tray for organizing all of that chaos, a Samsung SSD for storing my ongoing video projects, and a Western Digital hard disk for storing my images and my Lightroom backup. And I think that wraps up everything on the stream setup. I want to reiterate once again that none of this is an absolute necessity. I've been fortunate enough to save up some funds and partner up with multiple brands in the past, which allow me to create this workspace that is beyond what I could have imagined a couple of years ago. I try to go over as much detail as I could, and I hope this video gives you some inspiration in your journey in creating your own space. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and of course don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Oh, and lastly, I'm finally working on the video for running VS Code on your Tab S9 Ultra and S24 Ultra soon, so make sure to subscribe to be notified once that comes out. I know you guys have been waiting on that for a while, so I'll make sure that you get that soon. Anyway, see you in the next one. Peace.